Well guys, what a difference a day makes. A storm rolled through last night, lots of rain, and it brought the temperatures way down. So it's time for me to lift my tender bulbs. Now it's recommended to let everything die back, but we do have temperatures going down into the 20s coming up for a couple nights this week. And I just don't want to take a chance with my tender bulbs. So I'll be lifting my elephant ears and also my canna lilies. I'm going to wash them off, let them dry really well, and then store them in a bag inside. Last year I tried to do it in a colder shed, and I had them wrapped really well in lots of dry paper, but they didn't make it. So I think I have to bring them in this year indoors to my house. So let me get started. Here's one of the canna lilies I'm going to be digging up, and these are a zone 9 through 11. And being that I'm up here in Maryland, zone 6B, 7A, they're probably not going to make it. So I'm going to lift those as well. And if you can see, the bottom leaves are a little bit worse for wear. They've definitely been touched by some cold. We have had temperatures under 32 degrees. So I'm just going to go ahead and lift these as well. And here is the other canna lily, which will be lifted and brought inside for the winter. This one has a variegated leaf. Let me show you how pretty it is. Isn't that beautiful, guys? So I definitely, and it feels so cold, I definitely want to bring that in and hopefully get it to grow again next year. Okay guys, so I've gotten the canna lilies up, and it's very important to cut off the foliage on the top. Let me show you what these look like. So I have shaken all of the dirt that I can off of these. I think I will give them a good rinse as well and let them really dry out. But as you can see, it's been spreading. This is a whole new arm, and one of the arms broke off, which is just fine because I think I'll be able to plant it as a separate calla lily. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to just cut it right here, and let that, or even lower, but you have to cut the foliage off when you're storing them. And the key to storing these is to really keep them in a dry location, and of course indoors out of frost. So I'm going to let those get nice and dry and bag them up for next year. And of course I'm chopping up all the foliage to go into my compost bin and become food for the worms. After a lot of shaking and brushing, here's what my elephant ears look like. And they did not do so well. They weren't in a sunny enough location. So next year I'll do better by them. And it looks like one side here is rotten, so I'll be trimming that off. And it's really important to be examining the roots, making sure you're putting away healthy bulbs. And this one, as you can see, has some rot and some bugs on it. So that'll be separated off. But again, these leaves, the top leaves, go into my compost pile. And I'm going to get these trimmed up, bring them in and wash them, and lay them out to dry. So guys, here are the elephant ears and the canna lilies all shaken off. But I am going to give them a quick rinse, and our spigots are turned off so they don't freeze. So I've just got a bucket of water here, and I'm going to just clean them as best as I can in here and just wash off the dirt. And like I said, they don't have to be perfect. The point is that they go into storage dry. So to get off that dirt is just helpful. And you can just lay them out after they're rinsed. That looks much better, and that's going to dry really nicely and go into dormancy. Look guys, it looks like there's some new little bulbs forming there, so that's exciting. So I'll clean off any of this slimy stuff as well, just by hand. So it's not sitting in any type of wet slime, and I don't want it to promote any further rot. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that process with all of these. It'll be a little messier with these guys, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how they look all cleaned up. Okay guys, so here are my bulbs. They're all cleaned up. I've taken off any of the slimy bits. I've trimmed back some of the roots, and of course, as you can see, most of the dirt has been removed. I also took the opportunity to break some of my cannas apart. I thought they would store better, be easier to really clean, but I've got a lot of pieces. Look here, guys. Now this one, I don't know if it'll make it. It does have a little bit of damage here. But we'll see. If I take it out and it doesn't look so good next year, I won't plant it. But I did get rid of, otherwise, I did get rid of anything that looked damaged or slimy. And I still may cut off like roots like this, just to keep it clean. But I'm going to leave these out for a couple hours to let the wind dry them. Then I will be laying them out on a large paper bag for a week or two, and once I ascertain that they're really dry, I'll bag them in a paper bag. Now you don't want to put these in plastic because air circulation is really important. If they're damp, they could rot out, so you definitely want to keep these dry and warm, and that's what I'm going to do this year, and hopefully it'll work a lot better than it did last year. So in a couple weeks they'll go into paper bags, and I can bring them out in April, and I hope they'll give me a good show next year. We'll see, guys. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.